want to welcome you all again. Glad to have shared the world premiere of the heyday of the Insensitive Bachelors as part of the Atlanta Film Festival. And first off, a really big thank you to Georgia State University, Rialto, and Center for Media. All right, so we're going to do a Q&A. We have a number of folks joining us. First thing, and we also have a couple mics that are going to be set out here. If we can also bring the house lights up a little bit, if we could, so we can see folks. All right, so we're going to have some mics come out. First, let me ask everybody here, this is not the time for reels or headshots or asking for a selfie, so please let's behave on that stuff. All right, so at this time, please join me in welcoming Mr. Bo Mitchell, Abigail Spencer, and Mr. James Franco. All right, so I have some questions of my own, but we'll intermix it with some questions and comments from you guys. This is the first time a number of you have seen the film, so they're kind of right there with you. All right, so first, Mr. Franco, if you can kick us off, tell us what kind of drew you to have your students use this text as a unified text. What drew you to the original short stories in the book?
The book had an amazing cover, and Robert Boswell.
So judge a book by its cover.
Robert Boswell was my teacher, and he's a friend of mine, and I've done a couple projects with him. I directed a play that he wrote in New York, and we did this, and he's helped me with my writing. He was my teacher. This is, like I said, kind of typical of the way that I teach. You know, I look for material that will fit with a class, and there are certain things that I look for. So something, that the students can make, not for the budget that we can give them, something that maybe that they can understand, that they can, and hopefully something that they can capture better than anyone. There are certain, subjects and themes that I think younger filmmakers are, maybe better adept at, and so this met all those criteria. And then I also look for, projects that can be broken into episodes. Sometimes they're not always like this. Sometimes we have a class project that has one overarching narrative, and the students break that up and direct a section of the overarching narrative. But in other cases like this one, they're broken into episodes. But as you can see, there's so many kind of similar themes and issues in each of the films. Like I said, dealing with the past, dealing with parents, dealing with some sort of trauma or other, and coming to terms with that. And so I thought that this book, would give me everything that I needed as a teacher and as a /producer to have the students work on something that was unified and that they would be able to handle, maybe even handle well, and maybe even better than most people would handle this subject matter.
So, Bo and Abigail, I'd love to hear from you what your recruitment was into this film, and also you guys can start lining up over here for questions and comments. Otherwise, I will hog all the time.
Ladies first.
Oh, thank you. I think James texted me. So would you like to be in a movie with me?
We did Oz together, and then actually the first one of these classes that I taught was at NYU, and we actually filmed that one in Detroit, but Abigail was already gone by then. That's where we shot Oz, in Detroit, and Abigail was gone by then, so I knew I had to get her in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, free on that day. It was great. I mean, we met on Oz, and I didn't go to film school, so I thought maybe I can like go to film school through James, because he is doing so much creative work, and I think the most wonderful thing that I love about what he's got going on is he really believes in you. And to have all of these incredible students and all the directors, I've met most of them, and to meet people, to have someone like James who's so interested and so interesting say, I believe in you. Oh, you have an idea? Let's make that. Let's do that. It's infectious and it's wonderful, and not a lot of people are like that, and I really enjoy acting with James.
Yeah, I mean, well, I want to tell a crazy story about the filming of that one, section that Abigail and I in, but yeah, I mean, you know, I've been through film school. I've been in the business for 20 years, and you know, I get just tired of, you know, waiting around or waiting for people to say yes. So I figured out ways to make things happen, and I try to help, you know, other people make things happen. But when we were making our section, not the scene that Abigail was in, we filmed that at UCLA, but this stuff where I'm driving around the police officer. So there was this tragic thing, or, you know, really scary thing in LA. There was this guy, I guess, he was a former LA police officer, and he was accused of killing another police officer, I think, and then he wrote a manifesto and put it online, and I think threatened to kill other police officers because he thought he was fired for wrong reasons and all this. And so he was on the run, and he had possibly killed this police officer. And right when we were about to film there, like, oh, they found the car that he was driving out near Arrowhead. But it's just a car he ditched. He's probably, you know, probably long gone from there. And that's where we were going. We were going up to film in Arrowhead to drive with those things. And so as soon as we got out there, we were in the middle of filming, and all these news reports started. There was like a tiny little diner at the top of the mountain there that was our base camp, and we were sitting in the diner, and all the news stories started flashing. They're like, cop killer is found. He's in Arrowhead, and he's like 10, you know, he was like 5 or 10 minutes away from where we were, and they didn't know what was going on. He had held some people hostage. Thank God he had let them, you know, he didn't hurt them. But they had trapped him, and so like we were trying to film that scene in a cop car where, you know, like 5 minutes away from the cop killer, or maybe he was like right there, and like they weren't even sure, but he was like there, and we're driving around in this cop car. And I mean, when I say like a tank, it was almost a tank came through with, like, you know, SWAT on the side, and like every news station you could think of driving through, and, you know, probably 100 cop cars while we're trying to film, right, like right there. And then anyway, they took him down. I guess he got killed, but I guess he set the house on fire that he was in. I don't know, but that all happened right there. It was pretty crazy. And for a minute, you know, they didn't have him, so it was like, wow, we're really filming this in a cop car, like, and this guy could be on the side of the road. Anyway.